I mean, how do I describe it? It's
bold,
a light,
black,
unapologetically black,
very funny, amusing,
caring,
You give great advice from a different perspective. Passionate,
free.
vulnerable,
a creative,
sexy.
My girl is lit as fuck.
Always ready to twerk a little something.
genuine, very genuine,
resilient,
like sixth sense, otherworldly. If you know, you know.
it's so vibrant, baby.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Soul Vibrant, a place where music, history, and culture collide. I am your cultural storyteller, curator, and award-winning host, Adriana. So I'm excited for today's episode, but before I dive into introducing our special guest and everything I had planned for today, I just want to say this first. We are in the throes of summer and things are heating up. Literally, figuratively, politically, emotionally, and all the leads. And our culture, black culture, the black community, black people, black children, black adults, everyone far in between. We not only deserve to exist, but to live in every sense of the word. We deserve to make our mark, to explore, to engage, and after all is said and done, come back home safely. And if you have an issue, a problem, any qualms, want to play devil's advocate about that, that is officially a you problem. That is no longer got anything to do with us. It's time to shift the responsibility and the weight of that back on to those afflicting the harm, because it's no longer our duty to deal with that, because we shouldn't have to. Because I fully believe at the end of the day, after all of this is over, we gonna be all right. Matter of fact, no, we're gonna be better than all right. We're gonna thrive. And that's on that, Jack. Okay, I couldn't help it, y'all. But I'm so serious, but I couldn't help it. That just felt right to say in that moment. Can't you tell I'm a Spike Lee baby? But anyway, moving forward, speaking of Spike Lee, today's episode is a continuation of our Black film series, which I started a couple of months ago, where I interviewed the amazing Irie Bailey about his involvement and the history and culture around the Black Atlanta film scene. And during that conversation, he talked about the next generation of filmmakers that he was able to help and usher in by involving his friends, and then their friends and him brought their children in and created a whole new level and lane of creatives. So for today's episode is very special because I get to talk to that next generation by interviewing the one and only Mr. Irie Bailey, who is making his own lane and impact in the Atlanta film scene. So in today's conversation, we're going to hear his involvement, his connection that he learned from his dad, his passion, and also just how his take on the Atlanta film scene as of now. So I'm excited for you guys to hear it. But of course, before we dive into any of that, I got to give you these musical breaks first. And with it being summer, I'm going to let you in on my little summer playlist, playing a couple of the songs I have in rotation consistently this summer. So I hope you enjoy these, and I'll be right back.
Kenjah. You know that people them too bad-minded. We are love them, can't find it. Me not afraid of love, me not gonna hide it. Me not worry about them. Feel my baby love me back. Can't lose you and me I go mad. Every day I thank my God. Me not worry about them. Aruba,
And that was my girl, Kenjah, with When I'm With You. Affectionately know her as Gigi. Girl, I'm so proud of you. The music you are making, the talent that you are. Definitely one of my songs for the summer. But I just remember her from our GSU days and hearing the music and the things she wanted to do. So to actually witness her doing this and thriving in it, because speaking of film and television, she's also doing that too. So shout out to her. Big up, much love. Hope we can connect soon, girl. As I was saying before the musical break, for today's show, I am interviewing Mr. Irie Bailey to continue the conversation of Black Atlanta film history. So I hope you enjoy. Now let's begin our interview.
What was that experience like for you, or what did you always want to do film? Did you see that career for yourself? Like, what was your start?
Well, growing up, starting out, my father worked on Outkast first video,
Okay.
Players Ball. So I thought that was so cool that my dad was making this video, and so we had an autograph poster from Outkast when I was a kid, and so I just thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And even before Outkast, he did some other videos. I don't know if you remember When You Dip, I Dip, We Dip. I put my hands up on your hip.
Yeah.
My father did that video. He did Daisy Dukes, come on, baby, kick them daisies. So I remember him editing that video in my living room. So I definitely thought his career was excellent. And he also did the Kilo. This is when I was in first grade. So I was 6 years old. This would have been 88, maybe 87. And it was Kilo Ali. Cocaine say she love you, but she really don't.
She say I always be there, but she really won't. Make you a big man, buy you a Uzi. She say go kill your brother, or you gonna lose me. Cocaine.
Cocaine. Do you believe in love at first sight?
And so that was another video that he did. And so that was like the first big rap song in Atlanta. So I was influenced heavily by the rap music, by the music video culture. It influenced, my sense of style, So I've always been, they say Hollywood, but in Atlanta, in Georgia, we say Yollywood. You know what I'm saying? Yollywood. So
I love it.
I've been Yollywood, from a young age. My father took me on commercials when I was young to work. So I probably did my first commercial when I was about 13 years old. It was for like Arby's or somebody, Hardee's. And I remember, just being happy to work. But he always brought home like t-shirts. So I always had the coolest t-shirts from all the different music videos from the different artists and stuff. He always would bring home stuff from music. He would bring home all the food, they give some food away. So he had a very cool job, and he worked very hard, and I had a lot of respect for him. His hours. He also worked on School Days. I don't know if he probably talked about that. And that was a Spike Lee movie, and he was gone all summer. So I remember him being gone, and he decided that he wouldn't work out of town because he wanted to be around more. But growing up, he worked very hard. It was times where I didn't get to see him because this business is the schedule is very treacherous.
Very demanding. Yeah.
Long hours and everything. So he definitely made a choice. And I'm just, I watched him, and as I got older, when I was in high school, I did start wanting to do the work, but he was very adamant that I went to college. He wanted me to go to college, and he felt like if I started working in the film business, I would make so much money that I wouldn't want to go to college. My father always pushed me to be better than him, so had some things go on, and so I had to come home from college, and he got me my first job working at Feature Systems film equipment rental. So that's how I learned the equipment and stuff. I was over there working back in, I would say, 2000. I worked at Feature Systems film equipment. Met some other people who worked there that went on to do some good things, and that's how I learned equipment. That's how I got my start.
So what was it like working with your dad?
I mean, it was always cool working with him, man. I mean, like we're like the greatest team. Like you put both us together, like on the film set now. Like with all my experience, like he was the boss, when I was growing up and stuff. But then later on, like he came and worked for me. He worked for me on Stranger Things. I was the key grip, and he was the dolly grip. So we actually had a chance to. He doesn't like to work for me now because he says I'm too mean. He just doesn't like his son telling him what to do. It kind of bothers him a little bit. So he don't really want to work for me now because I used to get
Right.
he used to get in my shit a little bit, so I would get in his shit too, as we got older. But man, me and him together, man, we like a unbeatable duo, man. We could do anything, you know what I'm saying? But we're very different. He's a lot more nicer and kind. I'm a little bit more mean, and I have less tolerance for bullshit than him. So, but
Okay.
we make a great duo,
You do,
man, and
yeah.
people have seen us work together. They enjoy having us. We used to do a lot of commercials and stuff together. And from there, I started getting some job offers with my dad's friends, because they were very because you spend so many times together, so much
Right.
time
Kind
together
of
on the
build
set,
that
you kind
relationship.
of become family. So the people you work with are more than likely your family because you actually see them more than you see your family
Right.
in real life. So as I got older, I was a knucklehead or whatever. So he wasn't really sure about my work ethic in terms of
Yeah.
would I be able to do the business. Stroke Renegade gave me a job working on a show, and then Nat, his other friend, Nat Kendricks, gave me a job working on a show. These were all electric jobs. So my father was a grip, but I started getting these electric jobs. I ended up going and working with his friend Carl Johnson, who was a big gaffer here in Atlanta, absolute film legend. Did a lot for the betterment of African Americans in Atlanta in terms of working in the business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was a very influential person in my life in getting started. My dad and Carl. So, and it was also Benny Gaskin, who was another influential gaffer in Atlanta. And both these guys, Carl Johnson and
Mhm.
Benny Gaskin, both of their sons are actually working in Atlanta and they're gaffers. Nick's a gaffer over at Tyler Perry Studios, and Carl Johnson Jr. just got through gaffing the new Different World,
Oh wow.
the new one. So they both followed in their father's footsteps, and they're doing well. And we've all been working together for probably about 22 years, and we're the second generation working together. And from there, he got me a job as a PA. So I actually was a PA in 2000 on the Bombs Over Baghdad video for
Really?
Outkast. And so
Okay.
that was my first big job. And Big Boy was Outkast was there, Andre. Big Boy, he smoked a blunt with me on my birthday. So I was just like, man, I can't believe I'm smoking
I'm
with
doing it.
Outkast. I mean, it doesn't get no better than this. And I was making good money. I worked for Arma and Helen. They were the production coordinators, and so I worked for them. And then that was kind of like my first, really introduction to the business. And from there, I wasn't scared. I already had the experience
Yeah.
working at the rental house. Everybody we all they all started in that group, and they got their mark, working on music videos and stuff. So that was how I got started working on the music videos, and being a PA. And then Carl came and hired me to start being an electrician, which is a lighting technician. And so I did all these videos with Carl like in like the early 2000s, maybe from about 2003 to like maybe 2008, 2009. I did none
Okay.
but music videos. I mean, I would do music videos, Fabulous, anybody you can name, Young Buck, everybody who came to
Everybody
Atlanta,
that came to Atlanta,
yeah,
yeah.
all big artists, Walk It Out, DJ everybody, you know what I'm saying? 2 Chain, I did Duffel Bag Boys video on Old National. So all these pivotal moments in hip hop, I was actually there and saw. And so, I have a real fly sense of fashion. And that's because I used to be on the music
On them
videos, you know
sets.
what I'm saying? All the time. So I
Got to see
saw, I
like
got to see, I
styles
did
that
all the
was
TI videos,
yeah.
big shit talking, hell of a life, a lot of big TI music videos I worked on too. So any artist in Atlanta, pretty much, at one point I did a music video for them if they were in that time period. Young Jeezy videos I put on for my city. I did the Nelly Tip Drill video,
Yep.
the R. Kelly and Young Jeezy video. Gucci Man Go Ahead video. That's the story. The Gucci Man Go Ahead video. This was right after Gucci had had the robbery attempt that had ended up having to the guy ended up getting killed. So it was
Mm.
very intense on set. And I can tell you crazy stories from music videos back in the day. But this one story, they got into it about where they were standing at, and they got into a fight, and then somebody pulled out a gun. Everybody on the set ran and hid, and we all hid in the bathroom at this club in Buckhead. And I was like, man, I'm not finna get killed on no music
Not no
video.
music video set.
And this was like 20 years ago. So
Yeah.
music videos are very dangerous. You always have to have your head on a swivel because you got the lights and the camera, and people got their egos, and you don't know who they've been beefing with.
Oh, wow.
I had to make sure that I was safe on that. And
Right.
then so that was around 2009.
Mhm.
I made the switch over and stopped being an electrician. But in that time while I was an electrician, I also got to gaff some projects. So I
Yeah.
did this movie with Daz Dillinger called Make It Rain. And
Okay.
it never came out, but it was a pleasure to shoot. You know what I'm saying? It was ahead of
Because
their
it gave
time
you that
because
it gave you that introduction into what to expect when it came to the film and that.
yeah, the film business is just wild. You know what I'm saying? A lot of different things go on. I don't know. I don't want to reveal too much, but I just say it gets really groovy
Well,
on
I'll
the
ask you this. So what was that transition like? Because like you said, you're coming from this world of the music video, so you already got, the excitement, the danger, but you got used to that. You kind of got accustomed to that. So what was that transition into film like, and how did that come about for you?
I always did film, you know what I'm saying? We shot on film on the music videos. So when you talk about this would be more along the lines of dialogue, like scripted television. I probably started doing that more like 2004, 2005. And that was I was working on movies for Rob Hardy and Angie Bones and Diane Ashford. Those are all producers in Atlanta. And they did this movie Motive. So that was one of the first
And
movies I
my
might have
favorite.
worked on. And that was 2004.
Yeah.
So that tells you, and I still work with them today, to this day. So I've been working with them for over 20 years.
Mm,
So the relationships you make in the film business can be long lasting relationships.
right.
And my advice is you're only as good as your last job. So you can
Mm.
do good on everything else, but you're only gonna be remembered for that last job you did. So just remember that. Um,
So do
so
you
that so
all in that moment, like kind of treat that opportunity as this is, I'm gonna give my all, I'm gonna do the best.
and I was competing like with my dad's friends for jobs when I came in and started working with Carl like as a electrician. And they were grown men, and I was,
Yeah.
I was 20. I didn't know the equipment, I wasn't good, but I was very fast and I was strong. And I
Yeah.
wasn't scared to learn. So that was how and I knew how much money, could be made because I did music videos for about 3 or 4 years and I only worked, 2 or 3 days. I didn't really start working full time till about 2009. So I always had the freedom to do my own
Yeah.
projects and stuff. I did one. It was called Street Chronicles. It was a hip hop DVD, and I had the finance law. Where I was talking about finance advice and legal advice, and I had the models, and then I would interview the celebrities. It was kind of like loving hip hop before loving hip hop. I was ahead of my time. We would go to the studios, shoot them in the studios. We have some models, we had a little information and we're Street Chronicles was really big. I mean, it was big in Atlanta. We were selling DVDs. So I was doing my own projects too. I was shooting music videos for people. I was the director of photography for my own stuff. So that was all the things my dad did growing up. I watched him. He would do his own projects. He'd be editing some stuff. So it all went together. Basically, it went along with Atlanta's film market. So
Okay.
Atlanta had a big film market in music videos, in the early 2000s, you know what I'm saying? And like before that, because my dad and them actually established Atlanta as a hub for shooting music videos. So
Mm,
they already the A&Rs and the producers were comfortable because they could shoot a nice video, a quality product in Atlanta. And that
right.
was a niche black market that my dad and them had created. We were doing $1 million videos back then. They had $1 million budget,
Mm,
like 2000. The Bombs Over Baghdad. We was a 7-day shoot.
yeah.
Dave Myers, a big time music video director, he was shooting it. So these were the kind of videos we were doing. Videos that were like motion pictures almost. You know what I'm saying, with
Yeah.
these big budgets. And around 2008, 2009 is when they were the union, the 479. They started working. Mike Akins did a lot for trying to get the jobs here and stuff. It was a lot of different things in play,
Yeah.
So when the work came around, it started really getting big. I did some of the Tyler Perry movies and stuff. He had his studio, House of Pain, Meet the Browns, all these different shows. This is when he was at Greenbrier.
Okay.
I was working on those, and we had the Grip crew. We called ourselves Grip Nation. And so that was the most time you had seen like that many like African American grips in one place working. It was just it was unheard of. So you might have had 20, 30 people, and so that was just a really great thing. You might see big crews, but you never saw them with that much color on them.
That much
So
diversity. Yeah.
and so that was later on, like 2015, but 2008, 2009, I worked over there as an electrician, and it was real diverse then too as well. But I started working as a grip, and I was working with this guy Ray Brown. He was former president of our union 479. The electrician field was a lot more easy. I felt like in terms of like getting work as a African American, the grip field was a lot more harder to get a job in. And even to this day, if you look at I get tired of seeing the token black guy. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
Okay, you might have a token black guy on the crew all the time, right?
Yeah.
And so, you might have two or whatever, but I don't think it's a little bit better, but it's still a hard field to get in because with gripping, it requires a lot of unlicensed engineer. You're building things over
Yeah.
people's heads and stuff. So I don't know why it hasn't translated into more black key grips, but we don't have a lot of black key grips in Atlanta, and it would seem like we would because of the amount of
There
films
you
and
are.
stuff. But you had a lot of people come in from different places, and they don't understand the structure. Atlanta's one of the only places where you have like it's a black city, like in terms of the government, the people running the city and everything. They're
Yeah.
black people, so you don't have that structure anywhere else. You don't see a lot of that in New York and LA. So you're dealing with that.
And so I know you mentioned a lot. Your dad, first of all, did a very good job of breaking down like the different positions and things in film. And I know you mentioned a couple of it. I mean, even when I was looking into your credits, you're known as the Dolly grip, the electrician, and some cinematography as well. Can you explain more of what is the difference between an electrician and a grip?
Okay. So the electrician is like the lighting technician. So
Okay.
they're responsible for getting power. If you need something on set with power, the electrician is going to get it for you.
Mhm.
If the director of photography works with the director to get his vision right, then he adds his own flavor to it as a director of photography with the lighting and stuff. Moody lighting, lighting for emotional scenes, dim lighting, moody lighting for love scenes. All right, so you have all these different lighting styles, aggressive lighting and everything. So they're the ones that are going to point the light on the person, open it up, maybe go up on the color tone, however, whatever kind of he wants to put. He might want to put some color on the light or anything, right? So that's where the electrician works. Then the electrician job has evolved a lot because they used to use hot lights before. They don't use a lot of hot lights. They use all LEDs, so you don't have to worry about being burned by the lights. The lights have gotten a lot easier and stuff, lightweight and everything. They were really heavy back in the days. So now after the electrician puts the light up, now the grips are gonna come in, and what the grips do, they're gonna shape the light. But all this is artistic. Like people don't realize filmmakers are really artists.
Right.
We're artists, like to the extreme. So every day I go to work, I want to feel like I made something and it was worth my time being away from my family. A lot of people aren't like that. I'm like that. So I like to create nice art. My images have been seen by billions of people all over the world, and I've worked on some really successful things. So I always tell people when I meet them, like, yeah, you've seen my work before, you've seen my camera work before, you've seen everything, but electrician shoots the light and the grip shapes the light. So that means the light is hitting the wall. It might not need to hit, so we'll take that off there. We're controlling the light and everything. So that's the grip's job, is to control the light. Then you also have the grip. They have a dolly grip, and what the dolly grip does is he works with the director of photography and the camera operator to tell his stuff. So the dolly grip is a mobile camera platform operator. He moves the camera around. So we're kind of in between. That's what I work as now. I'm a dolly grip. I'm not in the camera union. I'm in the grip union, but I work with the camera all day. So that creates a little that's a gray area. But in Europe and stuff, the dolly grip is in the camera department. So
Okay.
they
They
just
just
they
kind
don't
of
do.
mirror that, but they just don't clear those terms. Like,
Yeah, they haven't cleared them because it's a gray area. But then that would add another person into their department, which would cut their wages more or whatever. So
mm,
that has something to do with it, I think. But so that's you have the dolly grip, you have a key grip, then you have a best boy grip. A best boy grip is responsible for keeping up with the equipment and the men. He makes sure everybody gets paid and all the equipment gets ordered and they have everything. And then you have a rigging key grip. He goes in and gets the location ready or the stage ready where you're shooting it before the crew comes, which is the regular key grip. The key grip is usually the baddest man on the set. He's a bad, he and bad. I mean, like he's like he knows what he's doing and keeps everybody safe and he's gonna speak up if he doesn't see something going on wrong or whatever.
something you said that really hooked me was how you approach film or any of these projects you've done as art. Can you explain that just a little bit more? Because I think a lot of people don't, especially now with what's being kind of thrown out here, we don't see the artistry that it really takes to put a film or a music video or a commercial together. So what is that?
So you basically film is collaboration. You have to be a
Yeah.
good collaborator. You have to be able to collaborate with people you don't know who are from different walks of life with you, and you got to be able to come together to tell the vision.
Yeah.
So one of the things I did to help me learn how to tell the vision, just like my father, he told me, he said, go to film school. So in 2013, I went to film school. I went up to Maine Media College and I learned about I was frustrated because sometimes I didn't know the terms that the directors were saying and the
Yeah.
different, like ECU, extreme close up, that's an eye shot. A
Mm.
cowboy is from the legs up, close up is from maybe the head up,
Mhm.
so I didn't know those terms, and so I was having trouble, as a dolly grip working with the directors, and learning with how to tell the story. So that's where after I went to film school and learned about all the different departments and everything, I really understood the collaboration aspect. And so everybody's working together to do the same thing, tell a great story. And so the artistic side comes out when you can make a product or something and it has meaning to people, it touches people. And so you have these different scenes, right? And it's like knowing I'm an artist, like I know when to do. They call me You Already Know. That's my name because I can tell them what they're gonna say before they say it. With the director,
Yeah.
because I'm kind of a little OCD or a little, special or whatever. I can do the shot, and then they can say, okay, do it 50% slower. And they'll have a stopwatch. I can do it 50% slower, because I know what the timing is. I have to know the lines and the dialogue and everything they're talking because I have to move the camera based on when they're talking. So I'm looking at their body, their movements. So if I have a good actor, he's not going to sit down real fast because he knows I have to boom the camera down, right? Me being on in sync with the actor. That's where the artistry comes from. Everybody being in sync to where we can move fast and get the day done fast. Everybody being in sync to where we can get the shot on the first take. I know how to tell stories very good with the camera lens. So my movements are based on the actor's lines and also based on the dialogue, which goes all the way back to how the writers wrote the show, how
Yeah.
the director wants to see it. So he'll say, okay, push in on this line. So there's an intense scene and they're talking, and then I start to push in. And then and this is a wide shot. And now by the time the push in, it's a close-up shot. And they go in for a kiss, right? Those are the little details that I consider art. I worked on stuff that's been nominated for Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor. I worked on Stranger Things, the biggest show in the world. I was actually the Splinter Unit key grip. I was the second unit key grip for the first season of Stranger Things. And we didn't know what we were working on, but I mean, I did a lot of those shots and that made that show very popular and big. And then I got to do the fifth season of it too. So I did the first and the last season of
Mm.
Stranger Things, which is one of the most watched shows on Netflix ever. And that's the art, and telling the story how I want to tell it too. And sometimes when I work with directors and stuff, they give me free reign. I'll say David Green, he's a director up in he's out of South Carolina. He's did Righteous Gemstones. We did the movie Exorcist together.
Mm.
He actually told me, he said, if you want to do something, do it, because he respected my ability to tell a story enough to give me free access to change it around and do it. A lot of people like, no, I want you to do it like this. But
Yeah.
sometimes I get free range, and that's why I'm an artist, because they actually trust me enough. And so when you're looking at something that I worked on,
Mhm.
you're looking at my art that I made, and I told the story how I wanted to tell it in a lot of cases, but it's all a collaboration. And they say, oh, well, don't do that. We don't like that. Okay, I won't do it this time. But sometimes they give you the range to be able to go and do what you want to do.
Because as an artist, there is a inkling when you do want to branch out and do your own thing or add your creative spin and stuff. And so it really does matter when you have somebody who supports you in that. So it's good that you had that experience, because some people, they when they come to these sets, it's like the director wanted like this, the DP wanted like this. But I love hearing that gave you had a free range, or you had people who trusted you enough. So I think that does greatly impact the art that you make, or even your career when you go about it.
And they're looking at the work every day. So, they have
Yeah.
dailies. So they see it, right? And they say, man, that's a good shot. And so like I work as A and B camera. A camera is more the wide, the establishing shot. That's
Yeah.
usually the most important shot. But the B camera is the heart of it, because it's the tight lens. In terms of like coverage, like that's when they're talking. You got 3 or 4 people talking, knowing where to be, understanding the line, like through the dialogue. I can start a move with the boom, and it can end at the end of the dialogue. And the dialogue might be a minute, 2 minutes. But Atlanta's got some really good dolly grips, and I've had a chance to work with a lot of really good dolly grips. And I've just got so much experience from
Yeah.
starting out so young doing this. I'm 40. I'll be 45 in August, and I've been working on film sets since I was like 18 years old. So
Mhm.
a
Yeah.
good
Good
the
stuff.
majority of my life has been spent on a film set, and I'm kind of like on the back end now, so I don't work as much as I used to. But I have a little bit more free time, and so I'm happy with that. But I'm thankful that the business gave me the chance to not have to, to have free time where I don't have to work all the time. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
can if you want to, but I'm just chilling and enjoying it.
As you should. You know,
Yeah.
so speaking of all this experience, these titles, let's run back some of these movies, some of these experience. I know you say you've done pretty much every, when it comes to music videos, every artist that done came through Atlanta. But far as film wise, you did mention Modus, which is one of my favorites. You had Due Date. You said Stranger Things, and one of my favorite shows you done that I love was Damascus.
Oh yeah. Now
Loved it.
Damascus was an excellent show, and it was like
I
when
had
I
to ask
did
you
it.
about that.
So I did Damascus after we got done. I did The Walking Dead the last season of that. That
Okay.
was like a year and a half. And so after that, AMC had this new show they wanted to do. It was called Damascus. So I
Mhm.
went and did that. And it was like a great show. We used the cinematographer was a guy named Marshall, and he actually was really renowned for his cinematography. He did Made Men, or Better Call Saul. He did that one.
Better Call
And
Saul. Okay.
okay, and so he came out, and it was him, his camera operator named Matt, and we got together and we made like some really nice cinematic stuff. This was one of them situations where like I'm a black man, you know what I'm saying? I'm from College Park, so I got a little I got a little slang, a little slurs in my that vocabulary, and I can be a little
Right.
ratchet sometimes, but if you come in and judge me, then if you just look at me as a filmmaker, you're gonna get so much more out of me. So when I
Yeah.
get with people and they look at me as a filmmaker and they know that I'm serious about doing my job, we can make some good things.
Exactly.
Damascus was the case where we made some nice things. We had some really nice cinematic shots. I don't know if you remember all the stuff where it started on his eyeball,
His eyes.
it come
Yeah.
out of his eye. We were using this telescopic lens, and so we just made a really nice show. And it was just like different because I actually had been in therapy. The way the world is set up, we need therapy. So that was good for them to make a show about a black man going to therapy, because it's hard for us to reveal our vulnerabilities. And I want to say it actually influenced me to go to therapy, I think, because that was 2022. And one of the things about the film business is it's very hard on our relationships and stuff, because
Yeah.
you work 60, 70 hours a week, so you don't have a lot of time to be present in your relationship because you're tired, burnt out. You go back and do it again next week and
Next
everything.
day.
So you can experience a lot of exhaust. So you have to have a really strong relationship, and that can be hard since you can't even give the relationship the time that it needs.
Yeah. Because the film requires so much. And then, like you said earlier, you're on these sets for like hours.
Yeah, like I work, I've worked jobs where I work 18-hour day, a 19-hour day. I mean, that's a long day.
Yeah,
And your body's not designed to work like that. So, you
exactly.
have to worry about falling asleep on the way home. A lot of people have hurt themselves. So that's something that work on getting hotel rooms for the people. So
Yeah,
that's why we have to have unions and have people fighting for our better interests, because if not, we're just gonna get abused and they're just gonna work us till
I'll
they
take
they, they,
advantage.
they can't no more. I only want to do jobs with my friends, because I have to be
Mhm.
around somebody all day. So these are all people that I hang with personally outside of work. They're like my family, and so I've always had that strong family element in the people that I've worked with, because we
Yeah,
spend so much time together. And then I spent the last from 2018 up until present, I spent that with Aubrey, and that's Kung Fu Grips. And so
yeah.
Kung Fu Grips is he actually had already worked with the people who we did Damascus with, so they already had a relationship, and so I never really had to look for work or everything. Right
Yeah.
now, I work over at Tyler Perry Studios,
Okay.
and so I'm just glad I built a good relationship over there. A lot of those movies. I don't know if you saw 688. That was a
Yeah.
Tyler Perry movie. I did that movie, so that was a war movie. He got into the period pieces. Yeah, that was one of my favorite jobs to work on, because my mom was just so happy with that movie. So I love
Mm.
when I can make something and people are happy and can be proud and say, yeah, my mom can say. So all my mom's favorite stuff I worked on. She loved Walking Dead, so I got a chance to work on that. She loved that 688 movie. So, and she also liked Damascus too. She was telling me, and I was like, she didn't even know I worked on it, because it
Yeah.
came out on another network. And she said, "Oh, that's my favorite show. I love that show." And so, man, it was just funny. Martin Lawrence was hilarious in it. He was super cool, and it was just a really good show to work on. So I'm glad it got some run. Hopefully, they'll do a reboot and we can get a season
I
two about it.
know. God, that's my thing. That's why when I saw it on I'm like, please let them bring another season. Cause that show was just it was revolutionary in a way too. Cause it had like that, like you said, the great relationship of showing the importance of therapy and just how to process emotions. But then you also had like the sci-fi Afrofuturistic kind of point to it, which we definitely need to see ourselves, especially us
Yes.
looking in the future, because I think a lot of times historically, we are not always seen in the future. We're not always seeing in what will happen further going on, and I think that also does impact, like like we were talking about earlier before the interview about our presence period in content and media as Black folks.
Yeah, and we need to be behind the lens so we can still, because I've had some I've had an inside scoop into everything, because I've
Yeah.
worked on so many music videos and so many television shows. I've seen the different stereotypes play out, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so I think it's important for we to have more people of color as director of photographies,
Yeah.
because they directly control how we're seen, you know what I'm saying, in terms of
Mhm.
lighting and everything.
Yeah.
Because if you're a person of darker skin and you're not lit correctly, you're not really seen, right? And
Right.
so
Right.
that plays a part in how they see us and how we're seen in society. If we're not lit correctly on TV, so
Mhm.
we're not as relevant. So those are things like on a subconscious level. That's why we have to be directors of photography and stuff, so that we can have proper lighting. And I noticed it little minor things for me. I noticed the
Mhm.
camera operator, like we're shooting over, he cuts the guy's face off, or cuts his eyes off or his mouth off.
Mhm.
He might not do that if it was a different person, but
Yeah.
they'll do us like that. So
Right.
that's why it's important for us to be behind the camera, because these images are going all over the world and they're influencing how people view us and everything.
Right.
Even though it's some of it's reality, some of it's fact, some of it's fiction, we
Mhm.
still have to be in control of our image.
I can't be the only one out there who has tried to run. Smiles are where they weigh a ton. Collect my mind that wants to be free from the anxiety about the past and the old me singing. Green to red, but light has changed. The demons now are switching lanes. Lost my past and present day. I tried to run, the game's the same. Green to red, but light has changed. The demons now are switching lanes. Lost my past and present day. I tried to run. I can't keep running, running, running. No more running, running, running. Done with this running, running, running. Tired of this running, 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 running. Now sing home, home, yeah, home, home, yeah, home, home, yeah, home, home. I just blew another one. I lost my chance to fly because I broke my promises with smoking guns. I don't deserve the empathy. I face the truth eventually. It's always been my remedy. Green to red, but light has changed. The demons now are switching lanes. Lost my past and present day. I tried to run, the game's the same. Green to red, but light has changed. The demons now are switching lanes. Lost my past and present day. I tried to run. I can't keep running, running, running. No more running, running, running. Done with this running, running, running. Tired of this running, 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 running. Now sing home, home, hey, home, home, hey, home, home, hey, home, home.
That was Run by McClenney. At the time this song came out, he went by Chris McClenney, but if you want to get into his music, and it definitely was digging that vibe, because that's definitely one of my favorite songs. I say that about all my music, I swear, but y'all, love the beat on that. And you riding around with your windows down. Oh my God. But of course, like I said, if you want to get more into his music, he goes by McClenney now. So definitely check out my brother there. But I hope you ain't run away listening to the rest of this interview, though. So without further ado, let's get back to the interview.
You know, I have good relationships with a lot of actors too. They're my friends. You know, they come to town, we talk and everything. And so I've actually, you know, had a chance to really influence them and tell them, because I know, because I work on the big shows all the time. So
Yeah.
I'm not working on a little show. I'm working on a show with $1 billion budget. You know what I'm saying? So you can't go and playing around when you get in these doors, because these people are spending a lot of money. So they're not. If you're not performing, you're gonna be gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't know how to, like, if you posting stuff, you're gonna get fired. Like, that's not a good look. So everything is confidential. You know, the NDAs, all this stuff is real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So black people, they sway. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
They sway when they talk. Yeah, man. You know, they talking like this. You're shooting them, and they're moving their head, and they're talking to somebody. Then you got to keep adjusting the camera. You know what I'm saying? To keep covering them, because they're they're talking, like, bopping their head side to side. So it's like, hey, man, you know, it's important for you to, try not to sway too much when you're talking, so that we can get your coverage correctly, right? So that's something I would tell I might tell a black actor if he's starting out. Make sure you remember your movement. Understand where the camera is. These are things that I would tell, starting out actors. If you can't see the camera can't see you, right? That's important. Good actors. I just worked on this show with Kevin Bacon. Very professional actor. He does everything the same way every time. I've had a chance to work with Russell Crowe. I've had a chance to work with Sam Jackson. I've had a chance to work with Nicole Kidman. All these big time actors, and they do things certain ways. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what makes them professional and good actors. I'm the same way with my job. I do things the same way. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna, hey, excuse me. I'm very courteous. All day long, I say please and thank you. That's part of my job. But I'm gonna tell an actor, hey, make sure you know your lines. Don't come to set and not know your lines. You know what I'm saying? If you do something, pay attention to the camera, know where the camera is. These are the things that'll make you a professional. For me to be a black man, and then you come on a set and it's all these white people, and then you got another black man on set. That's a good feeling. Okay, I'm not here by myself. Hey, we talk or whatever, but it's like, hey, I see you. You made it here, and I made it here. We had to go through some different doors to get here, but we're here now, and so we can continue to look good and make ourselves look good. It's important to do your best, but I've had a chance to get where I did it was I got a lot of people jobs. My father brought me into business. I brought all my friends into business. They all worked over at TPS Studios. For years and years and years, I brought people into business, helped them get careers in the film business. You know what I'm saying? So they can have pensions and take good care of their family. The reason I work hard because I always want to be able to take good care of my family and my mother. And so, I was able to like retire my mother from her job. I paid off her house mortgage so she didn't have one anymore. And I'm just thankful to be able to take good care of my family and also enjoy life. I've been able to go and travel to a lot of different places over the world. And so I'm just thankful that I had all those opportunities. I've had chances to work in different states on movies. I've worked in Savannah, I've worked up in South Carolina, I've worked in Alabama, Florida, all these different places, travel and stuff. So those are all things that the film business brought into my life.
So speaking of, like I said, bringing into your life, in the interview with your dad, like, he said as he saw how the industry was changing in Atlanta, that did kind of change the culture of how film was starting to set up, especially when it related to Black people being behind the camera. When they started to bring all these different people from around the world and not trusting the enough of us in the industry. So for your generation, what was that?
You have to have a plan even when you're working and you're making money. You have to have a plan on what to do it. But I saw some people. I wanted to give a shout out to my buddy Joe Frederick. He started out as an electrician, and now he's a steady cam operator and a director of photography. And he's working all over the country, and he's working internationally and stuff. And he's just somebody who started from the ground up, just like me. Like I used to fly drones real big like 10 years ago, and now all the movies have drone shots. So that was another thing I was ahead of my time on, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of things I was already doing before they got to be like really mainstream. But Joe's doing great. He owns his own cameras, his own lenses. And so this is a Black man. He's a steady cam operator. He's got his own camera rental house. He did this himself, and so these are the stories like that are great to see people, start off in one level and move to another level. Well, where I'm happy at in my life, even though I'm not as working as much as I used to, my quality of life right now. I work sometimes, but I don't. Might work a week, maybe 2 weeks, but I have 2 weeks off, and I have time. I can go to the gym. I can go to my garden and farm. So when I look at quality of life, the fact that I have all this free time and I can just enjoy life, that's like the greatest thing in the world for me. And I'm not like, oh, I need to work. I need to work. So in 20 years of work, for me, that's really like 30 years of work for somebody. You see what I'm saying? So I'm on the back end. I don't have to, I don't have to work that much because I work so many hours already in my life. And I can just chill and just enjoy life now at this point.
And which you earned it, you
Yeah.
know. And so you got to revel in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
And
life can't be all about working. You got to have the play too.
Yeah, and then but I do like doing things. I still I like to do photography still. I still like to shoot videos. I'm always into the technology and whatever the newest camera sensors and lenses and all that. I love all that kind of stuff. So I love everything about filmmaking.
What changes have you seen now, with especially as it's growing into the incorporation of AI to all these different things that are now greatly impacting the film industry now? Well, what's your opinion about that?
AI is just giving anybody the ability. It actually leveled the playing field because anybody can do big budget scenes, just like the big studios, because
Mhm.
the technology is available to us all. So it's all about evolving. You have to constantly be in growth in this business, right? So
Mhm.
if you don't grow and continue to move, and the film business, the thing is, you're not supposed to just stay in one. Whatever you started, you're supposed to move to something else. So my dad's pushing me to be a director of photography. He's pushing me to be a steady cam operator. I need to, he's like, you gotta elevate. I haven't done that. I'm so comfortable and good at my job. I haven't made that choice. But you
Mhm.
know, that's not to say that I can't make that choice in the future. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
just need to get into the correct union so that I can be a director of photography. But you start out in one and then you move in. Like I had friends who were grips and they became actors. They were in the Black Panthers. They got these big residual checks from being in the Black Panther. People who were like camera operators, they became directors and producers on big shows all over the world. So if this business is a stepping stone, you use your job to get to a better place or get to the best place you can within your job. Some people are happy, some people like to move up. So yeah, would I like to direct some one day? Yes. Would I be a good director? Yes, I would, because I understand all the different jobs and I have the experience. So I know what everyone's supposed to be doing. You can get so much game from being around these successful people. That's what you have to realize. Excellence is a big part of this business. And
Mhm.
so you have to be being the best that you can be, because the competition is so stiff, because you want to make the money. So if you're not going to make the money if you're not the best at your job. You know what I'm saying? And you
Mhm.
got all these good people around you. So Atlanta's filled with like the best talent in the world for filmmaking. We were number one in the world for filmmaking. I think we fell off last year, but for a couple of years we were number one in the world for productions and everything.
Mhm.
And you had the best of the best. And so I've got a chance to work with the best of the best. And so that's what makes me I feel like I'm the best of the best, and I can go on any show, any budget, and do a good job and be professional and give the people a product that they're happy with. So, in order to do that, you have to always constantly be working on being the best. And how do I do that? I
Mhm.
get up in the morning and I go to the gym and I work out for 2 or 3 hours when I'm not working, so that when I am at work, I'm not tired and beat when I got a 75-foot techno crane and I've been working for 15 hours and I got to do this crazy shot. So that's how I stay in good physical shape, spiritually good spiritual state, good mental health. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
have goals that I always put my goals down. I hold myself accountable to my goals. These are all important things that'll get you far in this business. Being disciplined, having a routine, arrive to work an hour early so that you can eat and be ready, on the day. you know, uh, how you carry yourself. You want to have a nice professional look. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I can be lacking on that, based on the job, but I dress
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot better now. You know what I'm saying? Work clothes, being prepared, having the right shoes so you can stand on your feet for 15 hours, 16 hours. A lot of people, when they go to work, they never worked this hard in their whole life. They've never been this tired. So this business will make it'll put some tough skin on you.
Yeah. Or as they say, it will make or break you.
Yeah. And I've had
Mhm.
people I brought to work and it was so cold outside that they left the job. They disappeared and
Woo.
left. Didn't even come. And I mean, now after 20 years, I can work all day in you know 10-degree weather, 12-degree weather. I worked out, we work outside all day. You have to be willing to work in all the elements and everything. And you
Yeah.
can't complain if it's raining. So I always have two raincoats in my book bag, and I have rain pants in my book bag. I always have a pair of shoes in my car that are waterproof. I always have an extra pair of clothes in my car, because in this business you're gonna get wet. We're doing they're doing, explosions and stunts and stuff. So you got to pay attention. Okay, if I stand here, whenever the special effects, they say, okay, it's gonna go this far. This is as far as it go. I don't trust what they're saying. I'm gonna give myself like an extra 5 or 10 feet.
Mm.
Based on just what I've seen and everything. Okay, the car should stop right here. All right, well, I'm not gonna be here because what if the car doesn't stop right here? Or what if the tire pops off the car while we're standing over here? That tire's gonna hit us. So these are the things you got to think about. So having that edge in your personal life will give you the edge in the film business, and having good habits every day that you do in terms of taking care of yourself will give you longevity in the film business. My father, he stretches every morning. He does yoga, he does tai chi. These are
Yeah.
all things for his mind and stuff, so that he's still functioning well. And he's 77 years old, and he could work right along with a 21-year-old, even at
Right.
77.
I definitely seen him at work. So, and he steps with the best of them. What do you feel based on your career, the work you've done? What is your vision with your work?
My vision with my work is that I will have, well, in terms of like being a dolly grip, I would like to create something that would uh help other dolly grips do a better part, do their jobs better, have a piece of equipment with my name on it that I created and added that Dolly Grips will use. I would like to see myself direct a project. I would like to see myself produce a project. I would like to see myself be the director of photography on something, be a camera operator on something that's big and changes the world. I would like to do a film or something that has a big impact on the people in terms of their growth and knowledge, and that just really touches their hearts. And so
Yeah.
those are the kind of like projects that I would like to do on there. Like my story is like a movie, you know what I'm saying? From working with my father and coming along in the business and seeing all my friends working with their fathers and coming along in the business, just to what it is today, this big $1 billion business that just started out being music videos and a couple of commercials in Atlanta. So, you know, my legacy has already been cemented with the product, you know, with the projects that I've worked on. These projects will be around forever, and I always have my name. It's just like education. Once you get it, they can't take it away from you. So all these jobs that I've done them now. It's nothing. So when you see this job and you see this shot, you say, "Man, that was a good shot." That was my shot that I did,
Yeah.
and you know, it was a collaboration. But you know, I really had a lot of control in it. So I'm
Yeah.
just thankful that I got a chance to, you know, to do the work and show my dad that yeah, I can do this job just as good as you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just thankful that I've had a chance to work on set with my dad and you know, and I built my name and my legacy based on my father's name and legacy. So I hope if I that my son decides to do the business, that he'll continue the legacy and build a greater legacy than what I already built, because I had the blueprint from my father. You know, he worked, he invested in real estate, you know, he invested in the stock market. I did the same thing. I invested in real estate, invested in the stock market. We're like two peas in the pods. And my dad
Yeah.
is my best friend. I love him to death, man. And I'm so thankful that I picked him to be my father and that he could give me this work ethic that could carry me so far. I just did a job with him yesterday. A little we put a stage up and some lights, and I
Yeah.
just learned about entrepreneurship and so many lessons, you know what I'm saying, in terms of how you carry yourself and how far that can get you in life just from having a good name and a good work ethic and good customer service. He's had relationships, and these relationships were so good that the people wanted to help me just because that was my father. So I hope I can leave that same legacy for my son.
What does legacy mean to you?
Giving something to the world that can never be duplicated and it will always be respected.
Mm. How does that show up for you?
My the legacy shows up for me
Mm-hmm.
in how does legacy show up for me? That's a good question. How does legacy show up for me? Legacy shows up for me in the fact that I was able to come into this business
Mm-hmm.
and build a great life for myself and my family. And my
Mm-hmm.
family's been able to uh enjoy the riches from my legacy.
Mm.
And so my hard work gave my family a great life, and it also gave my children a great life. So that's my legacy. Is my hard work gave my children and family a better life.
I like that. Good. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for doing this interview and
No
giving
worries.
the
Thank you.
wisdom and the stories. And you are definitely your father's son.
Yeah.
I can tell. Thank you for being part of this. And of course, you're always welcome. Come on back.
Okay, thank you.
I really enjoy doing this series. Once again, thank you to Mr. Irie. It was a pleasure to talk to you, and I hope to continue to do more of these episodes and to grow and giving y'all this insight in this history. 'Cause I know I'm definitely getting fed, so I love it. And any film or history buffs want to know more, please please reach out and connect with me, holler at me, or if you just want to say hey, you can connect with me on all social media, specifically facebook.com, which is Queen Lady AC. On Instagram and Threads, it is _ I am Lady AC. On X and or Twitter, it is capital I am Lady AC. And as always, I am still accepting donations to help out with my creativity, my content, to keep that going strong. So, of course, you can send those to my PayPal, which is www.paypal.me/QueenLadyAC. The Q is capitalized. In the meantime, y'all, please continue to keep your heads up. Continue to do your work. Stay creative. And to remember, we have the power to change all this. And it doesn't take no grand step. You just operate in your lane. All right? All right. Well, on that note, y'all, if you haven't heard it anywhere else, you know you're going to hear it right here. I love you. And until next time, y'all. Bye.